Hey guys, welcome back to Collection TV. Today we're going to be taking a look at Heyday Junior Moon and Heyday Leroy Heming from the brand new 2021 Disney Pixar Cars diecast collection. On the back of the package you can see other 2-packs as seen in Cars 3, such as Bobby Swift and Brick Yardley, Ryan Inside Laney and Eric Breaker, Hit and Run, Heyday Leroy and Heyday Junior themselves, and Jackson Storm and Laura Spinwell. If you guys like Disney Pixar Cars as much as I do, then make sure you subscribe to this channel, Collection TV, for more Disney Pixar Cars diecast reviews. Alright, now let's get these two out of the package. Let's start by looking at the re-release in this 2-pack, and that is Heyday Junior Moon. So right off the bat, you can see that he is a black 1940 Ford Coupe with his license plate reading Moonshine, and he has the number 11 on his doors. He has a calm expression, and he has white wall tires. There's nothing on the top or anything. He's pretty plain for a racer, but still very cool nonetheless. He's one of the main characters of the Thomasville Legend characters. Now let's take a look at Heyday Leroy Heming. Now at first glance it looks exactly the same as the original Leroy Heming released a couple years ago, and to be fair, you could argue that this is just a variant because he does look very similar. His license plate still says Leroy, he still has the world's fastest decals on the back, he's still sponsored by Revolting, number 300, still has the same expression, the same tires and everything. The grill is painted just like before, he still has his name written on the top. So overall he still looks exactly the same, but in a little bit I'm going to compare him to the original release and you'll see why they are a little bit different. So this could be just an error on Mattel's part calling him Heyday, but it's kind of different. Alright, let's compare Heyday Junior to his previous release, which was in a 2-pack with Eli Turnpike on the 2019 Blue Desert art. And as you can see, they're very similar. In fact, I would say they're identical. I can't spot any obvious differences. The only thing that could be slightly different, but it could just be on mine, is I do feel like the re-release is a little bit glossier. But it could just be because the other one is a bit older. I'm not entirely sure, but everything else looks exactly the same to me. Tell me in the comment section below if you agree with that. And don't forget about Hot Rod Junior Moon that was also released in 2019, and the original Heyday Junior Moon made in China, which was all the way back in 2017, released in a Heyday 4-pack with some of the other legends. And then there's also the regular Junior Moon released in 2017 made in China. There's quite a few different Junior Moons altogether now, and I think that the Thailand variations, since they have black paint instead of gray, which was inaccurate, I think they are doing a lot better at correcting them. I also have this custom corrected regular Junior Moon that I made using some Thailand Junior Moon since Thailand has yet to release regular Junior Moon. So for Leroy Heming, you can see the original one on the left and the new one on the right. It's debatable if this is actually a new release because in the movie there was not a Heyday and regular version of Leroy. He only appeared in the flashback scene. But one thing that I noticed that is a difference is that the one on the right, which is the new one, has a darker beige color than before, which is kind of what they did with Heyday Louise Nash as well. So I would kind of like to consider this a new release, despite it being very minor differences. Another thing is that the decals seem to be a bit clearer than they were before, because originally Thailand was known for very blurry decals, but they've really improved over time, so a lot of the re-releases such as this one make it a lot better. And another thing is that the decals before had a raised texture to them, but now they're a lot smoother. I can still feel the texture a tiny bit, but it's a lot better than it was before. So if you like your cars to have flat decals like they would be in real life, this is a big upgrade. Here are all of the designated Heyday racers from Thomasville, and here they are next to their regular versions. Tell me in the comment section below if you prefer the regular versions or the Heyday versions. In Cars 3, Leroy Heming and Junior Moon first appear at the Fireball Beach race, which is the one where Doc crashes back in 1954. You can see them in the background of this shot as blurs. Look for Heyday Junior there towards the center, and Leroy is right behind Doc. And then in this shot you can see the legends reacting to Doc's crash. Then later in the movie, Smokey gives a flashback to Doc's racing days, and you can see Junior right at the front of the pack here, followed by River, Louise, Doc, and if you look closely you can see Leroy Heming back there in the dust. Here's another picture of him in the dust, where you can see his decals more visibly, which proves it's Leroy. And then eventually during that race, Doc passes Junior Moon, who appears to be in the lead, but in fact it's actually Leroy Heming at this point, who is quite a bit ahead of them all. After all, he is the next generation of his time, and you can see him trailing in the dust. As Doc gets closer, he tries to pass Leroy, but Leroy doesn't let him, and eventually Leroy tries slamming Doc into the wall. If you look closely in this shot though, you can actually see Junior Moon right behind them. And as I said, Leroy tries pushing Doc into the wall, and then Doc does his famous flip over Leroy Heming, which is what Cruise's move at the end of the movie is inspired by. And that's the last time Heyday Junior and Leroy Heming appear in the movie. Now you may have noticed in those movie screenshots that Junior Moon actually had black wall tires when he was racing, just like the Hot Rod variation from Mattel. I'm not sure why they didn't make it accurate, but it would be a very simple custom since Hot Rod Junior has also been re-released now in 2021. I definitely encourage you guys to make that if you want a movie accurate Heyday Junior Moon. And as for Leroy, it's very confusing to me whether or not he's actually a new release or not. After all, the package doesn't actually describe him as being new, however the name has never been used before as Heyday Leroy Heming. So I'm not really sure what the intent is, but I will say that at the very least I would consider this a variant, and this is potentially a new release, so it might be something you might want to pick up for your collection. Both Heyday Junior Moon and Heyday Leroy Heming are 1/55 scale diecasts made by Mattel with no paper stickers. Junior Moon was voiced by Junior Johnson in Cars 3, and as I mentioned earlier, he's a 1940 Ford Coupe, while Leroy Heming is a 1955 Chrysler 300. click the video on the right hand side of your screen to take you to my review of Floyd Morgan and Track Damage Cruise. Floyd Morgan is another Heyday racer that you might enjoy to see my review on. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, Coolaction TV, for more Disney Pixar Cars diecast reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.